everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back with the second half of our top 10 films of 2008. So if you missed that show, we did that show previously, which was our number 10 through number 6. So this is the second half, so it'll be our number 5 through number 1. We'll also cover some of our honorable mentions that just missed our list, and then you'll want to stick around for the very end. We're also doing our challenge films for 2009. Once again, if this is your first time tuning in, basically we do for the year that's coming up, which would be 2009, I will challenge Jason to watch a film that he's never seen that I've seen, and he'll challenge me to watch a film that I've never seen that he's seen. So you'll definitely want to stick around for the end for that. Well, without further ado, I say we just get right into it, man. We got a lot of films to cover, so I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and kick it off with our number 5 film of 2008.
Yeah.
So so number 5 for me. I'm a big action junkie, so it's always going to be action films in my list, which is going to be Taken. With Liam Neeson. So I've always been a big fan of the Taken series. I like, well, at least the first 2 anyways. I didn't care so much for the third one. But when this came out, I thought it was really fun. It's a really cool action film. If you don't know the story, basically, he's like a guy that has a particular set of skills, so he was like some sort of like, Marine CIA undercover agent kind of thing, and is retired, and, somehow his daughter gets kidnapped. And he basically only has a few clues as to, what may have happened to her, and basically gets on a plane and travels to I think it's Paris or someplace of that nature, in order to see if he can find his daughter. So it's an action film. It's not going to break the mold necessarily, but it was just a really, really fun, gritty action film. I really loved it. The only, I'd say, down part about Liam Neeson in this film is that now he pretty much does this film. Every film that he does is basically Taken. It's like Taken on a plane, Taken on a train, Taken. You know what I mean? It's like every single film that he's done. He's basically typecast at this point. And he's a really great actor. I mean, he's been in some really, really good films in the past. I mean, he's always been a great actor, but he seems to be kind of typecast these days. But that's my number 5, Taken.
Cool. I like Taken. It was fun. Is nothing that I ever felt that I needed to see again. And if I did ever want to see it again, I would just go see whatever Liam Neeson movie came out most recently. So, it's all right.
It's good. It's the number 5 film of the year. I just said it.
All right. No, if you want to know the number 5 of the movie of the year, that is Cloverfield. Cloverfield is my number 5 for the year. It is I guess it's found footage, horror movie, but it's a little more high budget than most of the movies like that. What I really like about Cloverfield is that, we've all seen the giant monster movies, the Godzilla movies, the Pacific Rim movies, where, usually in those type of movies, and this is a giant monster invasion movie, but usually in those movies, the main characters are the scientists, the politicians, the important people. You know what I mean? And this movie, what I thought was really interesting is this movie takes the point of view of all those people you just see scattering along the ground. You know what I mean? They're always there in the monster invasion movies. They're the people that are in the buses that get picked up and smashed. They're the people that are running around the street when they get stomped on. You know what I mean? You never get to see what it's like from the point of view of just your average Joe when a monster is stepping on your neighborhood. So I really like the different point of view of this movie. Plus, it's just really fun. It's really scary. It's really intense. It's got some really great action in it, and it's just a really entertaining movie. So that's my number 5, Cloverfield.
Cool. I like Cloverfield. It didn't make my top 10, and I think it missed my honorable mentions by a few movies. Probably be like top 20 or something like that. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a monster movie. I've seen 1,000 of those. It's a monster movie, plain and simple. I mean, yeah, you can argue that it's got a different point of view, I guess, if you will. But, but there are other monster movies that are about local small town people, you know what I mean, or regular people, regular Joes. So I mean, I guess it just depends. Different strokes for different folks, but not bad.
Yeah.
So,
I know it's not bad. It's excellent, actually.
Not top 10 material, but but good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely top 10 material.
All right, my number 4 is actually a comedy. My number 4 is actually going to be Step Brothers. So yeah, everybody pretty much knows Step Brothers with Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly. They also did the Talladega Nights movie as well. They always make a pretty good comedic team, I believe, in my opinion. I just love this movie. I watch it all the time. It's like one of the ones that it's just like I constantly, when I'm looking for something just funny to watch, this one is definitely one of the ones that I gravitate towards quite a bit. It's just easy, light. I mean, obviously it's toilet humor and that kind of stuff. And I mean, so if you're looking for a really highbrow comedy, this isn't probably going to be make your list. But if you're looking for something that's just fun and just funny all the way through, then I definitely highly recommend Step Brothers. That is my number 4.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one. It's one that I've only seen once. And I don't know, it's never been one of my favorites, like Will Ferrell or John C. Reilly movies. Like for there are movies with those two actors in it that are comedies that I would go to before that one. I know that one's super popular though, so but it's good. It's good.
Cool.
It's good.
Yeah. Everybody loves it. Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I don't love it, but I like it.
Well, that shows what's wrong with you.
But the correct number 4 for 2008 is Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire is my number 4. It is a Danny Boyle film. It is about a poor kid from the slums in India who wants to be a millionaire, and what happens before and after that. And there's a whole lot more to the story. It's just a really colorful, really entertaining movie. Like I said, it's Danny Boyle, so it's got a lot of style. It's got a lot of flash. And it's just a really entertaining movie. I think it won Best Picture that year. And I think there was a lot of uproar that it won Best Picture because people thought other movies should have won, but that always happens. Whatever. It's not my number 1 for that year, but it's a really entertaining movie, and it's my number 4, Slumdog Millionaire. We're doing this backwards this time, and it's kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, I know. Usually that's the whole point. I like to throw curveballs in there, man. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah, you just never know. Yeah, I like Slumdog Millionaire. It's a good film. It's another one that probably just missed my honorable mentions, probably. But I did like it. I thought it was good. I don't know. It's just kind of the film that. And I wasn't like one of the ones who's like, oh, it shouldn't have won Best Picture. I clearly didn't think that it was Best Picture per se, but I probably feel that way about most years. Most films that win Best Picture are not Best Picture because you just there's obviously films that you like better, and clearly there's at least 15 films that I like better because it's not in my top 10 or my top 5 honorable mentions. But no, I definitely enjoyed it. It's funny in parts. It's got a really good story. It is fun. Was it foreign language? I know he's like Indian, but I can't remember if it was foreign language or not. So
I can't remember either. To be honest, I haven't watched it in probably 10 years.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was foreign
but
language.
I loved it, and I saw it at least 3 times in the theater, I think. Yeah. And I watched it at least once at home. Yeah. So I'm sure if I watched it again, it would all come flooding back. But I haven't seen it in probably 10 years. But I know that I love it. So
yeah. I've only seen it just the once, but I do remember pretty vividly the different stories and stuff like that. Basically he's on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show, which is also, I guess, no longer around or popular anymore. But yeah, I did like his anecdotes and stuff like that. It seemed like he had a story for the answers. You know what I mean? That's what I remember most about it, is he always had like a really funny, unique story where how he was able to get the answers to the question was because of some, like I said, some really funny or unique story that happened to him. So I definitely really enjoyed that. So cool. But good choice. Like I said, just missed my honorable mentions, but good choice.
Yeah.
Mine. Yeah. My number three, and a film that I was really surprised didn't win Best Picture, was, we've already covered it. It was in the first half of the show, in part one, which is going to be The Hurt Locker. So it wasn't my number one film of the year, but it was definitely one of those ones that I felt like it had all the makings to be the best film of the year, I felt like. So this was, I know there are a lot of people that I've talked to that thought that this film was a better film over Slumdog Millionaire, which I agree with in that case, obviously. But it's just a really, really good film. We covered it in the last show, so I don't need to go too in depth into it. But like I said, just a really good, military war film. Definitely, Catherine Bigelow is one of my favorite female directors for sure. She just makes really, really good films. So yeah, I wish she was more active. You know what I mean? I wish she made more films.
Yeah.
Because she's only made, that I know of, like maybe 6 films or something like that over like 20 something years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, she makes them count though.
She does make them count, I mean, you could argue Tarantino does the same, but he's a little bit busier than she is. But yeah, she's an excellent filmmaker. And this isn't even my favorite film of hers, but it's definitely top 3 for this year. So, yeah, that's my number 3. How about for you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I love The Hurt Locker. And I talked about it last time because it was somewhere in the bottom half of my top 10, but it's excellent for sure. Yeah, cool. So we're on number 2. Wait.
Yes.
Number 2. Wait, no, number 3.
No, you're number 3. Sorry, I did.
My number 3. Yeah. See, got me all backwards here. Number 3 for me is The Dark Knight, which I need you to bring in the poster for that.
What?
So. Yeah. It's usually I have you do this if I don't own the movie. But I own this movie. But when I went to go grab it off the shelf, I had like this, it's 2008. So DVD was still like the primary thing. Like Blu-rays were around, I'm pretty sure at that point. But I think DVD was still like the main one. So
right.
I had this fancy DVD that I got at Target. There's actually like, it was like a Batman mask. It came in like a box, and it was like a Batman mask that you opened up. It was like a plastic mask that you opened up, and it was in the shape of his mask and everything like that, and the disc was inside. So it was like really cool looking, but I haven't watched it in a while. So I went and grabbed it off the shelf, and sometime in the last several years, the plastic on the mask cover has gotten all melty and sticky and gross. So like to where like my it was just disgusting. I didn't even want to bring it in here. So I actually threw it away. I've been meaning to get it on Blu-ray anyway, But so that's what happened. Like I have a special edition of this movie, and it's in like a fancy looking bat mask case, and it just got melty and gross over the years. I guess I should have just got the regular thing. But anyway, The Dark Knight is awesome. It's great. It's an amazing movie. Heath Ledger, one of my favorite performances of all time, I would say. One of the best villains of all time. It's the best of Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, easily, I would say. It's a great movie. Awesome movie. The only reason why it's number 3 as opposed to 2 or 1 is I have to admit that once Heath Ledger leaves the movie, it does dip a little bit. Not that Aaron Eckhart isn't a great actor, not that Two-Face isn't a good villain also, but like I think the last 45 minutes or something after Heath Ledger basically exits the movie, it does kind of take a little bit of a dip there for me. But that's not to say it's not still an excellent movie, still a 5-star movie for me for sure. But when I was looking at my top 3 movies, I had to admit that that was because of the slight dip in quality that it takes after Heath Ledger exits the movie. I put this at number 3. So, but it's still excellent. Come on, who doesn't like The Dark Knight? That's my number 3.
Cool. I don't know who doesn't like The Dark Knight. I like it. I like it as well. I like it so much that it's actually my number 2.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
And I got the Blu-ray. So yeah. but
I'll have that
yeah.
too.
I guess you'll have to now. Now that it's all melty, better format anyway. So I'm slowly in the process of I keep saying I'm going to get around to it. If starting to really upgrade all of my old DVDs to Blu-ray. I'll still keep some of the DVDs that I really like the cover for, but I'm still slowly, because it's just a better format. You know what I mean? So it's just better, less chance that it's going to get scratched up also. So it seems like DVDs just scratch way easier over time. So, but yeah, I love The Dark Knight. I think it's a great film. I would probably argue that I would agree with some of what you're saying is that, yeah, when he's not on the screen, the movie does kind of dip a little bit. And, you know, in my opinion, and a lot of people have said this, you know, I really am not the biggest fan of this version of the Batman personally. You know what I mean? I feel like the movie is really, really good. And all three of the movies I enjoy. The movies are really good, but it's really the villains, I feel like, and the story that really sells the movie for me, for all three of the Dark Knight series, the Christopher Nolan series. Christian Bale's a great actor, and I think he's phenomenal. But, you know, as far as like actual Batmans go, I don't know if he's my favorite Batman necessarily. He's kind of, you know, I didn't like the super gruff thing that he was doing with his voice the entire time in that movie. So I did have some issues with that, and that's the only reason why it's probably number 2 for me also, or not number 1 for me, because I think the movie is great. And there were a lot of people that made the same argument as with The Hurt Locker that this was the better film than I think Slumdog Millionaire as well. A lot of people wanted this to win Best Picture, but, you know, it's just like one of those things that, like, yeah, at the time we were all so caught up in the moment of, you know, Heath Ledger's performance, and then also, you know, the untimely death of Heath Ledger right before the movie came out. And so, you know, you had all that rolled into there. And at the time I was like, man, this is just an amazing masterpiece. But when I rewatch it, and I still really love it, I do start noticing some of those flaws, that there is a little bit of a lull when he's not on the screen. I do notice the flaws of, like I said, just, you know, sometimes Christian Bale kind of overacts a little bit. And I think we talked about this in a previous, when you were reviewing Harsh Times. I felt like he kind of went too gruff with his voice sometimes for the Batman, you know what I mean? It was just too like, why? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It was just like a little bit too gruff. So sometimes it was a little jarring for me also, but obviously, I still have it number 2, so I still love it, and I hate to be nitpicky on something that I have number 2, but that's probably why it's number 2 and not number 1 for me, is all. So, yeah, cool.
I think Christian Bale is an excellent Bruce Wayne.
Yes,
you know,
and that's what I'll agree with you. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I think as a Bruce Wayne, he's really good, and even in you know, Batman Begins or whatever, he's great in that film because he's not even Batman for like, you know, 2/3 of the whole film. You know what I mean? Almost. You know what I mean? Yeah. For most of it, he's like on his spiritual quest journey kind of thing. You know what I mean? But you know, but yeah, once he puts on the cape, you know what I mean? I think that's where I start having a little bit of issues with him, is all. So, but yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, I'm a Michael Keaton guy.
Yeah, I still think Michael Keaton's the best Batman, and that's just my personal opinion. You know, you know, and you know, I just think that that's always been. I thought he had the most personality. I thought his Batman was the most fun. You know, and you know, and I just, you know, you don't need to be this super Hulk-like buff Batman necessarily, which I think was kind of they're going for the Christian Bale style, which is fine. You know, Michael Keaton was just like your everyday man that was, you know, the Playboy type, and then put on the cape and, you know, was Batman. You know what I mean? So I did kind of like that Batman a little bit better as a person. So I agree.
And actually, I would put Ben Affleck.
I almost was just getting ready to say that, but I got scared and didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I know it's controversial
because I know I'm going to get a lot of flack if I go and say that Ben Affleck is I enjoy his Batman more.
He was a great Batman.
He does.
Great Batman. He really was. Like
his movies aren't as good. That's the problem with the Affleck one, is that the movie isn't as good. Like if you took, I mean, you liked any of them better than you like The Dark Knight, or?
Oh no. But you know, I do really like Batman versus Superman.
Right, but I wouldn't say that any of them are better than the 3 of these movies, though, necessarily.
No, but I don't think they're bad. You know,
no, I don't think they're bad. Just my point is people are gonna say that can't be true just based on the fact that that they're going to argue that the Nolan films are better. You know, I think a perfect film for me, and I hate to say to recast somebody, but the perfect film for me would have been if you started with Ben Affleck in all three of these films. I think you would have got it like an amazing masterpiece.
But people like to hate Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
so
and that's
they knocked it down on that.
Yeah, exactly. Just because he was in it, I think it wouldn't have played as well. No, I agree with that as well. So
yeah,
cool.
All right,
well, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me is something that we already covered last time, and that is WALLE.
Okay.
So, yeah, WALLE is, I think, probably my favorite Pixar movie. It's either that or Up. They tend to flip-flop for me. But yeah, I think it's just a great movie. It's actually a really legitimately great science fiction movie. We talked about this last time. Like the entire like first 45 minutes or so there's not even any dialogue, and that takes some real guts, I think, for a major studio making family movies, I guess, to make a movie that doesn't have any dialogue for the first 45 minutes and it still manages to hold kids' attentions. And it's just also a great science fiction movie, whether you're an adult or a kid. So yeah, I love WALL-E. It's just, to me, it's like the complete package.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, it was in the bottom half of my top 10, but I really did enjoy it as well. I think it's a great Pixar film. I think it's just a great animated feature in general. And I can't say I'm the biggest animated feature guy, you know what I mean? But this one was definitely one that I enjoyed a lot. So yeah, definitely no arguments there. I mean, your placing is a little off, but no arguments with the film.
Yeah, well, your placing was a little off too, so
my number 1 film is going to be another comedy, and in this case, is actually going to be Pineapple Express. So I just love this movie. I've always been a big fan of movies of this nature that are about like smoking drug comedies, and the Cheech and Chongs, the Harold and Kumars, there's a Friday, there's a whole
why is that, Kier? Why is that?
Why is that? So I've always enjoyed these films, and this one is no different. So I definitely enjoy this one quite a bit. I just think it's funny from beginning to end. I just love it. It's just a super funny, fun film. It's got a lot of great people in there. Seth Rogen's really good in there. James Franco's really good in there. Danny McBride is really good in there. He's super funny. Like I said, my only thing about Danny McBride is I feel like he plays that same character in every single film or every single show that he's in. He's always just like that loud, obnoxious guy, but he's funny and it works. So I don't.
Yeah, I'm not tired of it yet. So.
Yeah, I'm not tired of it yet. Yeah, he doesn't. But he is that same like kind of brash, kind of jerky kind of guy. You know what I mean? That you don't know if you'd really want to be friends with him necessarily, but he's just funny. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, that's my and if you don't know the story, Pineapple Express is basically it's a smokers movie, and basically the two main guys get involved in like this with like some bad guys that basically are looking for them because they witnessed like a crime, and it's about the drug is Pineapple Express, basically. So that's the best way to put it. So, but it's just a super hilarious comedy. So, and if you get a chance, definitely urge you to check it out if you haven't watched it. If you like to laugh, you'll probably like Pineapple Express. So, yeah.
And Danny McBride can do serious, like he did in Alien Covenant. He was in that Alien movie that I didn't really like the movie very much, but he was good in it, playing it straight. Actually, he was like he was like just a normal, nice guy in that movie.
And he was normal in he wasn't a big part. Well, he wasn't a big part in there either. But up in the air, he was also normal in there, also as the guy that was getting ready to marry his sister.
Oh yeah.
He was having he was having doubts about getting married or whatever. Right. He played it straight in that one also. But yeah, so he can act in a serious,
for sure,
more dramatic role if he wants to. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love Pineapple Express. It's in my runner-ups. It's hilarious. I haven't watched it in 10 years probably, but I
haven't watched it in many years either, to be honest with you. So
but I just remember laughing my ass off pretty much. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, great choice. Great choice. However, it's not the number one movie of 2008 because the number one movie of 2008 is one you've never seen.
All right.
It's called Synecdoche, New York. So this is I don't think you've seen it,
No,
but
I've heard
it's
of
not
it,
your
no.
kind of movie anyway.
No, it's definitely not.
But it's well, you don't know.
I've seen a trailer for it or something. It just didn't look that interesting to me. So
yeah, well, it's not only interesting, it's a masterpiece. So it is a movie directed and written by Charlie Kaufman, who before this was mainly known for his screenplays for movies like movies that you also don't like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
right.
Being John Malkovich, basically trippy kind of mind warp kind of stuff, but like with kind of a comedic, kind of surrealistic bend to it. So this is a movie starring Philip Seymour Hoffman. Basically, it's really hard to describe because the entire movie may or may not take place in his mind. So it's that kind of movie. If you like those kind of movies, you'll love it. If you don't, you won't. But it's a very weird movie. It's very surreal. It's hard to make heads or tails of, but it's one that if you are so inclined, you will be tossing around in your head for years thinking about this movie. I still think about this movie all the time. So I really like it. It's definitely still my number one favorite movie of 2008, which means it is the best movie of 2008. So there you go. Synecdoche, New York.
Cool. Yeah, never seen it. Most people probably haven't. But cool.
Yeah.
Well, can't comment too much on the film that I haven't seen though. So I can't knock something that I haven't seen. But
just take my word on it and agree.
No, I won't do that because one thing I am sure of is I'm not going to watch it and think it's the best movie of the year of that year. I'm pretty sure of that.
You never know.
You never know, but I know.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, just the subject matter, I can already tell. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to be something that it's an acquired taste for sure. So,
right, definitely cool. An acquired taste.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, well, that is our top 10. So I'm just going to run through my honorable mentions real quick. So mine don't take as long usually. So number 15 for me was Iron Man. I thought it was a really good one. I'm not super crazy about the Marvel universe anymore, but I definitely like that one. Forgetting Sarah Marshall was 14. Kung Fu Panda was 13. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong year.
No, you're on the right year.
Oh yeah, I'm right. Kung Fu Panda. And then The Wrestler was number 12. And then number 11 was Burn After Reading. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry, I got confused for a second. So
yeah. And I've only got, believe it or not, I've only got 7 runner-ups this time. So they're not in any particular order. I just grabbed them off of the shelf, which means they're probably in reverse alphabetical order. No, okay. Okay, so my runner-ups are a really underrated movie that I think you would like, and I know you haven't seen it, and that is, believe it or not, Speed Racer. Speed Racer is a really good movie. It got really, made fun of at the time that it came out. And it is a really weird, goofy movie, but it's really, really entertaining. Role Models. This was in the bottom half of your top 10. I love it. It's one of my favorite comedies. Like you said, it was a really strong year for comedies.
Right.
Speaking of that, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, also really, really good. I feel like this one's not seen by quite as many people as some of the other Judd Apatow movies, but it's really one of the best, I think. Pineapple Express, hilarious. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, which was what I did ask you to watch, and you loved it, right?
I did not.
One of the most underrated horror movies, I think, is The Ruins.
Oh, I totally
really love this movie.
It didn't make my honorable mention, but it would have been really close. So yeah, I do like The Ruins a lot though.
Yeah, it's super underrated, but it's a really scary, really intense movie. And also another underrated, not really underrated because the few people who have seen it like it for the most part. That's a movie called Pontypool. It's sort of a zombie movie, It is kind of a zombie movie, but it's also not a zombie movie, if that makes any sense at all. But if you like zombie movies and you're okay with ones that kind of twist the mythology a little bit, definitely check out this movie. It's funny, it's weird, it's violent, it's scary, it's creepy. It's really cool. So, plenty cool. That's it. I don't have 20 runner-ups this time.
Cool. Well, good stuff.
Not that there weren't, I left. There were a lot of other really good movies that I don't own, so I just concentrated on bringing the ones that I own in here. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. A lot of good stuff in there. A lot of not good stuff in there. Cool. Just messing with you. Well, that concludes that show. And then we do have our honorable mentions, or not honorable mentions, but we do have our recommendations for our challenge films for 2009. So what is your challenge film for me for 2009?
You are going to be watching one of my favorite movies, and that is Coraline.
Is that like cartoon?
It's stop motion animation.
Okay.
It's actually a really, really great horror film.
All right.
Yeah.
Coraline it is.
Yeah. I saw it in 3D.
Oh. Very cool.
Yeah.
You're going to be watching a pretty just gritty mobster movie, which is Public Enemies. So
yeah. I knew that's what you were going to pick. That's one that I've been meaning to watch forever. I mean, it's Michael Mann. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't.
It's not like my favorite mobster movie, but I liked it. I thought it had a good story. It might be a little long. That's the only thing that I can remember. That I haven't seen it since it was in theaters, but I do remember liking it quite a bit. So, but yeah, I think I don't think you'll hate it. So,
no, yeah, I've always wanted to watch it. Now I have an excuse to watch it. So
there you go, man. Now you have to watch it. Now it's required. Now it's a required homework assignment. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. So cool. Well, we thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Like I said, if you like the films, definitely let us know your thoughts on the top 10 films of 2008 in the comments. As always, if you like the show, we ask that you subscribe, and then always make sure you go ahead and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. We'll be back for another show with you guys real soon. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.